Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is update. Well, I actually lost track because I'm back at the Brownsville City Cemetery, the old historical city cemetery, to give you an update on two new headstones placed here. One is for Sergeant Edwin B. Brewer, Company B, 133rd Illinois Infantry. He is a Union Civil War veteran, born August of 1842 and passed away June the 29th of 1922. Okay, Sergeant Edwin B. Brewer. He is laid to rest in the old Brownsville Historic City Cemetery. So he's the first one. And I've already covered in an earlier video on Second Lieutenant George Watson. I got him in an earlier video. So Sergeant Brewer is right beside him. And right beside Sergeant Brewer, let me scoot on down here, is Private Tomas Flores. Private Tomas Flores served in Company B, 2nd Texas Cavalry, Union Civil War veteran, and he was born in 1844 and he passed away December 17th of 1914. For those of you that don't know, there were actually three major Union outfits here in the Rio Grande Valley during the American Civil War, and all three were from the Rio Grande Valley. We had the 1st Texas Cavalry, we had the 2nd Texas Cavalry, and we also had the Independent Partisan Rangers. These were units that were organized in November of 1863 when the Union forces landed at Brazo Santiago Island, which is where more or less where SpaceX is nowadays. So yes, even though Texas was a Confederate state, we did have Union military units in the Union Army here in Texas also. So Tomas Flores, Edwin Brewer, and George Watson are in the same area in the Brownsville Cemetery, which is Block 49. So our respects to Mr. Tomas Flores and Mr. Edwin Brewer. And again, respects to Mr. George Watson, which I covered earlier in an earlier video. And let's see if we can find one more veteran here at the Brownsville City Cemetery. Here's another veteran, and I have no idea how I missed this one because he actually has a plaque. This is the Reverend Hiram Chamberlain. He was in the Confederate Army, and he served as a chaplain for the 3rd Texas Infantry at Fort Brown throughout the Civil War. Married the daughter of Captain Richard King, founder of the King Ranch. So a person that was very well established here in the Brownsville area. Confederate Civil War veteran. And this is his final resting place. Let me see if I can get a better view of this here. It states, in memory of the Reverend Hiram Chamberlain. Okay, looks like he was born in April 2nd of 1797, it appears. Let me see if I can get it from another angle here. Yeah, it looks like 1797. Wow. And down here it says, okay, if I can see through this here, the bars, it states that he died November the 1st of 1866 at the age of 69 years of age. 69 years, 6 months, and 29 days. So this is the final resting place of the Reverend Hiram Chamberlain and the old Brownsville City Historical Cemetery. And our respects to the Reverend. All right, let's see if I can find one more. All right, here we go. Okay, here's a Civil War veteran that I was looking for. And he has a private headstone. It looked like it broke off on the base. But this is Mr. Jefferson Bartholow, a native of Virginia. He was, from what the story says on Find a Grave, he was killed 27 October of 1863 by some of the men of Adrian Vidal. He was a Confederate Civil War veteran. And he was serving the Confederacy when he was killed or murdered, depending what you want to call it. But you have to read the story of Adrian Vidal. He was in the Confederacy when it first started. Okay, and then in the book Vaqueros in Blue and Gray, it states that he deserted the Confederacy and he had killed some men in the process. And it says that Mr. Thomas Jefferson Bartholow was one of them. So Mr. Vidal had quite a history. He was a young man too, 19, 20 years old. Served in the Confederacy, then became the company commander of the Independent Partisan Rangers. Deserted the Union Army, fought for Cortina during the Mexican-French War, and he was executed by the French. And he's laid to rest here in the historical Brownsville City Cemetery. But this right here is a headstone of Mr. Jefferson Bartholow. He is, again, a Confederate Civil War veteran. And his information is also on Find a Grave. Our respects to Mr. Bartholow. And now, let's go on to our next cemetery.